Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Oh, what a conversation we didn't record at the beginning here.
Listeners, if you'd only, it's like that Tenacious D song. It's tribute. This episode is going to be a tribute, but we can't remember the song.
Well, it started with felt, whether or not your shirt was felt.
Mm-hmm. And we traveled through Bangkok.
Well, we traveled to Bangkok, but those were also like reindeer games and stuff.
Yeah,
of sort.
It was
like the pussy test.
Pussy test.
All the ways that young
is your hand bigger than your face?
Yeah. What was that last name?
Is your hand bigger than your face?
Yeah.
Got a coin?
Coin in the bottom of a water bottle.
Mm-hmm. Got the old...
I don't think I know the coin in the bottom of a water bottle.
I'll show it to you at the end of the show.
I don't want you to.
Okay.
All right.
Check your prostate.
Can I
Are
check
you going to
your prostate
squeeze the
for
water
cancer?
bottle when I look for it?
We moved into online prostitution lingo.
Online?
Sex work.
I kind of figured it.
Yep, sex work.
Sorry.
So, and this is because it's my birthday.
It is.
And these are the things that I love.
It's your birthday.
Andy
and you don't have to pick up the phone.
I started to call Kelly Andy.
I can see how you get us mixed up.
You guys just look so much alike.
Yeah.
It's like the Parent Trap.
It is. It's like, which one's the mother, which one's the daughter?
Many a time we walk in and we do the mirror thing, like, ooh.
Which one do I shoot?
It's how we break the ice at parties.
And then we beat each other's noses, like, And then we realize we're not twins.
Which one took the test in school?
What's the pussy test?
Yes, which one took the pussy test?
The dumb one.
Oh.
We both did. Turns out.
Okay.
Which one's Goofus and which one's Gallant?
It switches off and on.
Yeah.
We're more timber toes.
Yeah, I love the timber toes.
What were timber toes?
They were those wooden people.
The Wooden family from Highlights.
Don't remember. I didn't get that far. I'd usually I picked up that it was Christian propaganda.
The only three things I ever did in Highlights.
It was Christian propaganda?
Yeah,
No.
I switched to Raggedy Ann and Andy.
No, you read Goofus and Gallant, Timber Toes, and you do can you find the differences in the pictures?
Yeah, hidden
and then
pictures.
you move the fuck on.
It's hidden pictures? No.
And hidden pictures.
There are jokes.
Yeah, but I don't have all
Yeah,
day.
well, hopefully your doctor's appointment was up by then.
There are better jokes
I
in
had
the
a
Reader's
subscription.
Digest.
What?
I had a subscription to Highlights.
Better jokes in the Reader's Digest.
There were jokes.
Fancy.
There were our own pictures, which you could send in drawings.
Did you ever do it?
I sent them in all the time, but no, they never published
Oh,
it.
it's because they're only posting their kids.
Yeah.
I know. I read the articles.
It's fixed.
Haha, you read it for the articles.
I read highlights for the articles.
It really was Christian propaganda because I never got that.
I don't know. I always thought it was.
I don't think it was.
I don't think I wanted to behave, and it was telling me to. So I associated it with church.
I was talking about this the other day, my Highlights subscription, because there was this article about this woman who made dinosaur art out of old cars,
Yeah.
and it was really, really cool. And
Well, it couldn't be Christian propaganda because they don't believe in dinosaurs.
no, they don't.
They did. Some of them.
Well, they
Christians
do.
believe that they live in harmony.
That's right. Was Jesus on the back of one of these sculptures?
He was on the back of all of them.
What if you go to
That's a sign.
just
the
kidding.
Ark Museum, the Covenant thing,
the Creation Museum,
the Creation
and-
Museum in Kentucky,
and the Ark.
There's
Yeah, you went there with Donnie.
Yeah,
didn't
there's
you?
actually Jesus riding a Stegosaurus down there.
What's interesting,
That's awesome.
if you want to hear a little bit of J-dubs,
Yeah.
in a way that
Jehovah's Witnesses
like to
listeners.
give them a little
Oh, that's my favorite kind of music.
J-dub. Wow. We're at your door. Wow.
It's J-dubstep.
my marvelous mind. Boom, 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 boom.
To give them a little credit, they do not believe that dinosaurs and people exist at the same time. Their thing is that the 7 days that God took to make the world is not a literal 7 days, but that to God it's many, many, many centuries. So like it was billions of
That
years
is
in the making.
Very progressive. I do applaud that.
And that they do believe that human beings are only 6,000 years old, but that the Earth is much, much older.
Oh, well, never mind. I take back
So they don't
everything I
go
just
with like
said.
the aged Earth theory?
Mm-mm.
Okay, interesting. I always thought they did.
I've also heard some Christians say that dinosaur bones are planted there by Satan
Yeah.
to trick people into believing evolution and stuff like that.
I would love a drawing of Satan, like
Just like going out at night with a little bag over
a bag
his
of
shoulder.
dinosaur bones.
Well, like
It's
that's
like a reverse grave robber.
Somebody explain to me how Satan tricking us into believing in evolution and that the Earth is millions of years old is somehow bad.
Because then it lessens your faith in divine.
I know lots of like one teacher in high school and like Bill Nye's, not Bill Nye, but
Bill Nighy, the science guy.
Other scientists that are Christians just go, well, that's God works in whatever way He wants to.
Yeah. From home on Fridays.
Yeah.
There is a theory that God, like, they just created when then all like the evidence comes back to say science, and like it's just God just created it already 3,000 years old.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. I'm sorry, Christians.
Well,
And some kid I went to high school with said that dinosaur bones were giant humans with giant long necks, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, there is
That's a creepy theory.
he's actually pulling that from the Bible because there was like
weren't there giants
walking
back then?
Yeah.
The Nephilim.
Yeah.
They show up in that movie Jerusalem.
I'm still friends with him on Facebook, too.
Here's the deal. This is where I'm going to apologize to Christians. As long as you are socially progressive and kind and good and compassionate, that you believe in science, that you take your kids to the doctor and you get them vaccinated, I don't have any problems with you.
So if you want to do everything Amy wants you to do,
then we're fine.
if you don't do those things, you're not friends.
No.
As long as nobody's getting hurt, and your religion brings you comfort. Do you?
No, here's the thing. Like, you can do what you want, but when you get into, like, laws and shit, that's what bothers me.
See, in our species, like, when we want a divorce, one of us stabs the other one in the chest.
Freddie loves the Orville. That's an Orville reference. Any other listeners watching the Orville?
The Orville, I
Makes
think,
me want popcorn.
might be the best show on broadcast television.
I think you might be the one keeping it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm surprised it got a second season.
No, it seems like I read the other day that it actually had a decent opening, not opening weekend. That's movies, but
You mean the open of the second season was good? That's a relief because it looks incredibly expensive to make. It's essentially Seth MacFarlane's love letter to Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I'm just joshing with you because I would like to watch it. It's something that eventually I'd like to make my way.
Were you a
to.
Next Generation fan?
Oh yes,
I
like Star Trek across the board.
It is. It could have been a Star Trek series easily. And it's not. I expected. I was like, "Oh, is this going to be like super jokey?" Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a Spaceballs thing when we first started watching it, and they have honed in even more so, making it very sincere in the second season.
Okay, because the first episode is kind of
there's more jokes.
Yeah,
I feel like they back off on the jokes, and they find ways in the story to let the jokes happen naturally. Like in the latest episode, the character who's supposed to be a play on Worf. What's his name again?
Bortus.
Bortus has a porn addiction. Their species are they're all male or all female. Which is it?
They're all male.
They're all male. It's hard to tell. But they have a holodeck like they do on the Enterprise, and he has a porn addiction, so he's programming, which makes sense. Sure. It's the conversation we have watching Next Generation.
Well, we've had this all the time.
Right,
like, why did I make that sound? The holodeck would be nothing but like you would have to mop that out hourly.
Yeah,
it would just be like
it'd be just
the fuck
rivers
hole would be what the vernacular that the Enterprise workers would use.
The fuck hole.
The fuck hole.
But do you know how often people just walk into the holodeck into somebody else's thing?
Which there's a moment in this last episode where I'm like, why doesn't they lock down? Because there's a great fantasy where there's a twist. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but Bortus gets a program where he has a bunch of his species so he can have a big orgy.
Okay,
and it's really great.
As somebody who's never seen a Stars Trek,
what is a holodeck?
It's like a simulation.
It's like the Danger Room from X-Men.
It can just be whatever.
So it's like super virtual reality, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like that thing from the Star Wars Holiday Special, right?
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes. It's just like
but
that.
much more advanced.
Yeah.
Oh,
was that when I was asleep?
Round, friend.
Ugh.
So I get it now.
It's like a virtual B. Arthur.
That would be my
Sign me
holodeck
up.
experience. It would just be B. Arthur every time, just blowing me.
Oh.
You'd have to pry that thing off of me if that was true.
I'm looking for a generous man.
You know what? I had a dream about B. Arthur once.
Yeah.
A good one or a bad one?
It was kind of sad because in it was like I was sitting next to, like, this is real. I was sitting next to like Rue McClanahan. I don't know if Betty White was there, but it was like this tribute to B. Arthur because, you know, it was after she died. And I was like real sad. I was like, I'm going to miss B. Arthur. Because I do love B. Arthur.
You had a tribute dream?
Yeah.
That's really
nice.
That's neat.
It was weird, but it was nice.
I love.
I was sad
too.
So
Yeah.
who were the guest stars?
I don't remember. I just remember that Rue McClanahan was sitting next to me, and they were talking about me.
There wasn't somebody singing a slow version of "Thank You for Being a Friend."
No, I wish
and
maybe
then, like, more and more people came on the stage and started joining in the chorus.
the Muppets.
You have like orchestrated this entire tribute, haven't you?
Pixie dream girl plucking a ukulele.
Andy, I want you to produce my funeral.
Produce it.
I really think you could do a good job.
Yeah, he could.
Is that Aaron Neville?
No, what's that real like you know what I'm talking about?
Zoe Deschanel?
Like a Zoe Deschanel type of.
It is for sure.
It starts off like a Kermit. It starts like a Kermit the Frog type thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm crying already.
And then slowly
And then a choir comes out.
the spotlight gets slowly
yeah.
bigger and bigger, revealing more people, more people.
And they're like, just like a friend.
Yeah.
Your voice can take me there.
Just like
And then
All these different celebrities.
over the song, you
Jack
get,
Nicholson.
B. Arthur makes out with a black
okay.
dude.
you get
Well, she's
testimonials
dead.
from
Yeah.
people throughout the country saying how B. Arthur was important in their lives.
I never thought I wanted anything for my funeral. You could
Until
put me in a
the Sunday.
shoebox, but
Here's
if
the thing.
Kermit the Frog could sit on that shoebox,
I want Kermit
pluck
to
a
sit on my
banjo.
shoebox.
it doesn't
so
even have to be the
sweet.
real
Yeah.
licensed Kermit.
Well,
You could just paint your hand green.
that reminds
We'll
me
get a
that,
Times Square Kermit for
that
you.
Yeah.
brings it back to the Orville.
It's not a gross Times Square one.
The best thing, you'll
No
appreciate
Elmos.
this, Mike.
Yep.
Stop it,
On the
Freddy.
Orville, which I love, and I should just start a podcast about it because I love it that much. Kermit the Frog is he keeps Kermit on his desk.
Oh.
The
Who
captain
is
of the
he?
ship.
Oh.
okay, how far in the future is this?
I don't know. I don't know if they ever specifically say, but hundreds of years. And that's how his go-to whenever he has to solve a problem. He thinks, what would Kermit do on the Muppet Show?
Does he just look
He
at
just
it?
wave his arms around a
Because
lot.
he was a great leader.
He was a great leader. A lot of
Yeah.
anxiety, though. If you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. But he took care of business.
I hate to go backwards in time. I know this is going to drive Amy crazy, but
No, you're fine.
since we watched the Christmas special, there's one thing that I've been obsessing about, the Star Wars Christmas special.
Life
Are
Day.
those the official words to the Cantina song?
No, nothing about that is official.
But she said... So then that means that B. Arthur bartended.
That's a whole different song. The Friends song.
Yeah, but isn't it?
No, but
it's got the background. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, but then they also...
No, there's a like the just one more round. Friends.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a whole nother song.
But doesn't the band also...
I don't remember.
Do they do one with
the
lyrics too?
I mean, it felt like a fever dream anyway, so maybe I imagine
Yeah,
it, but it felt like they
yeah.
were cutting back and forth to a very slow version of dun 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 dun
No.
dun dun
Yeah.
dun dun.
Well, they
with
do.
her singing that.
Yeah, they do have that as like a callback because apparently that's all that band can play.
So that band that's just backup music. It is not the
It's
official
just,
lyrics.
It's like a
to,
remix.
Yeah.
basically.
That band is like a living player piano.
Mm-hmm.
I
need
can only
this to
play
be
that
right.
song.
You just put a nickel in there to
Yeah.
nose holes, and
Yeah.
they start all over again.
Because I love the Cantina, and I feel like every time I hear that music, I'm going to think of B. Arthur
Yeah.
singing that song. It goes on for 8
Don't
minutes.
let it happen.
Bruce, they just
Okay.
let Bruce Valanche loose
Yeah.
in a galaxy far, far away, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
It's like he's like a velociraptor. He's too smart.
Bruce Valanche actually kind of looks like a Muppet.
He's like clever.
does.
Clever
Yeah.
girl.
Kind of like Sweetums
Yeah,
a little bit.
a lot
no,
like Sweetums.
No, no,
Don't
No.
do this to him.
no.
Harry
Sweetums.
Knowles reminds me of Bruce Valanche.
Yeah,
I got real quiet. That was
well,
weird.
just because I had to think about who
I think
Harry Knowles was.
I think
for a
Harry
minute.
Knowles got me too. So
Did he?
let's just
I thought that was like a round.
Sounds
like,
about
him
right.
To the,
wasn't
to
he
the
just?
side.
He's like complicit in someone else's Me Too, or
that,
is he doing it
and
himself?
he had some incidents.
I haven't heard about Harry Knowles since like 2004, so I kind of forgot he existed.
Yeah.
Probably for the best. So,
So Kelly, did you have a good birthday?
Oh, I did. I had a
old are
great
you
birthday.
now?
Yesterday was my birthday, January 5th.
how old are you?
I am 42 of Earth
Inches
years.
from the ground.
He's real tall, guys.
That's how long my dick is. Every year I get another inch on my dick.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's an interesting evolutionary trait.
We'll see what happens.
But it's real thin. It's like a breadstick.
I'm one of those breadsticks that comes in a 2-pack.
That's what happens. I mean, it thins out. Like you started out with like a real girthy.
Yeah.
Because the dough is getting like stretched out.
Is it like the breadstick at the bottom of the basket that is in the 2-pack next to the captain's wafers, and then you open it up and they just fall apart?
Yeah, because they crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Kelley said, you get a set amount of penis, but then
yeah,
as you get older, it's like Play-Doh.
Mine's chalky. Mine crumbles.
It just gets rolled out.
It just gets rolled out. I'm trying to make it to at least 80 inches, but not banking on it.
You can't even see it at that point. It'd be like fishing line.
Well, that's okay. I'll be 80 years old.
Crunchy breadstick, real quick.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I feel like it's exclusively for the old.
It is.
With the little sesame seeds on them.
Well, give us like 20 years and we'll get it.
You get Melba toast. You get
delicious.
fucking hard-ass breadsticks at an old person's restaurant.
Yeah.
It's very dark. Somewhere there's piano music tinkling.
Yeah,
you can't
You're
see
descrying Murray's Tiny Cove here in Cincinnati.
There's green carpet on the floor.
It's got those red candles on the table.
Yeah.
It's cozy, but it's
about.
dry.
No, I get you. There's
Everything's super dry.
something cozy about.
Because you're supposed to sop stuff up.
With the
Old
hard
people like to
breadstick?
sop stuff up.
You can't do that with one of those. If you touch it to your plate, it dissolves.
You can. You just
Or
have to
you'll
be
break
patient.
your teeth on it.
And old people have time.
Sometimes it doesn't crumble, but sometimes it's so hard
Yeah,
that
it hurts
your
your teeth.
skull breaks apart when you bite into it. And you have to
When I was a
have it
kid,
put
those were a
back together.
treat, though. Remember? Did you ever have them as a kid and you're like, what the hell is this?
There was a restaurant me and my parents used to go to every year when we went to the J-Dub convention. Wow. And it was one of those restaurants. It was exactly what I described. And they would have little packets of them, and I would just eat the shit out of them. I would just keep opening them and eating them and eating them and eating them before my club sandwich came.
Was it always a club sandwich?
Always. Those restaurants make a hell of a good club sandwich with the little toothpicks with the cellophane on the end, or a sword
With an olive? Through an olive? Never through an olive.
No. I didn't like olives as a kid.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah.
I love olives.
I don't love them, but I like them.
Okay.
I like
You
them
had
on
a
my
good
pizza.
birthday?
I did have a good birthday.
So glad.
We went
You're
out
one of my bestest friends forever and ever, and I'm so happy for you.
Oh, same to you.
So you went to Carlo's and Johnny, right?
Went to Carl and Johnny, which is fiancé.
How are they doing?
Oh, they're good. You know, Johnny, he seemed a little run down, but it just could be he was having a busy week.
You know, fun fact, that's the first openly gay-owned business in America.
Really?
Carlo and Johnny, they're a couple.
That's not true.
Jeff Ruby owns it.
That's why I was about to say, is Jeff Ruby gay?
If Carlo
Is
and
he two
Johnny
people
are
now, too?
gangsters, we're dead.
Who were Carlo and Johnny? Were they his parents?
Who's Johnny?
I don't fuck. She said.
Who is Johnny?
Oh, Mike, you left Mike hanging. He wanted a high five, Kelley.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Freddie distracted me because he did the little mid verse.
Nice software, Stephanie. That reminds me that this week's main attraction reminds me of Short Circuit in so many ways, and vice versa.
Short Circuit wasn't an Amblin though. There was like some other
I don't know.
company. Because we're going to talk about Amblin movies when we talk about Harry and the Hendersons.
Love
today.
Amblin.
Yes.
All right, well.
Hold on. I'm still talking about my birthday.
Slow your roll. It's Kelley's day.
It's my day.
So where do you like
Birthday
olives?
Zillas.
We're going to be here for a while then.
I went to a fancy din din.
Yes, he had fancy foods.
We drank some Kelley's birthdays.
He's a fancy boy eating that fancy food. Fancy boy.
And
Is it
Kelley's
good?
birthday is?
Kelley's birthday is, for those of you who don't look at our social media, it is about 1 to 2 shots of vodka if you're not me. I pour a lot of vodka in. It's some Sprite, and then a little bit less orange juice than Sprite.
Does it have to be Sprite?
Yes.
Damn.
Question.
Sierra Mist.
Did you listen to Origins? I think it was the first time you made a Kelley's birthday.
Couldn't have been the first time. Huh? Well, yes,
This
it
was
could have been.
2000. This was the first episode of 2007.
Oh, yes.
And it was your 30th birthday.
Yeah.
That's the most recent one we released.
God damn.
And you give
You were
the recipe
30 on the
for
show.
a Kelley's birthday on that episode. So I'm curious to see if it matches, if you changed it at all.
Well, it does definitely match. And I thought Holly Netfley invented that drink. Now, again, there are people who'd be like, that's just a dreamsicle. If you ever say that to me, and now, before I say this, to the people in this room who are going to troll me afterwards. You
said this on the other show 12 years ago.
I'm not going to punch you in the face, but anyone else who tries to say that unironically to me, I'm going to throw you down a well.
That's comforting because we know that Kelley doesn't change at all.
No growth.
He is consistent.
But the reality of it is that the Sprite, it has to be Sprite, right?
It has to be Sprite.
But that makes it a Kelley's birthday because a creamsicle could be bubbly something.
It's exactly
Yours
right.
has to be a Sprite.
It has to be Sprite.
That's the signature move.
It's creamy.
I get it.
It's like people who think Palomas and margaritas are the same thing.
Right.
I love a Paloma.
Yeah.
Like, I make Mike Ties.
Yeah,
and
you do.
There's one specific ingredient that is signature of a Mai Tai that keeps it from a Mai Tai.
I love
Arsenic.
a Mai Tai.
Yeah.
I'm going to make something called an Andy's funeral.
Yeah.
But instead of 7-Up,
it's
Sprite,
any alcohol.
Yeah,
because they all kill you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use nothing but Sierra Mist.
Chocolate ice cream.
It's your funeral for fucking with Kelley's birthday.
Andy's float is chocolate ice cream and Sprite.
There you go.
I don't see why that's like gross. It's delicious.
I haven't
Do
brought
you?
myself
Good.
to try it yet.
Do your own thing.
Just even when you mention it to people, like, oh my god,
It makes me want to die, but that's fine. That's
It sounds
your
good to
thing.
me.
try it, guys.
Remember? Well, I tried it at the Mountain Dew Moscow Mule or whatever the fuck it was at BW3s, and it made me almost die. I mean, not from alcohol, but from gross.
It was that gross.
I
It
do
was
love a mule.
disgusting.
We had really good mules last night at Carlin.
Mules are beer, right?
No, it's bourbon and something else.
Isn't there ginger beer in it?
Ginger beer.
Ginger beer,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite drinks of all time.
So, but what makes ginger beer different from regular beer? The ginger?
It tastes
ginger.
totally different.
well, it's just like it's like
Just answer
But
your
is
own
it
question.
But is
It's
it still
just-
beer? Is
it's
it
not beer at all. It's
Do
like
you-
a root beer.
Have you had ginger
but
ale?
ginger.
Uh-huh.
It's like ginger ale, only alcoholic.
Ginger beer isn't always alcoholic.
It doesn't have to be.
No,
it's like root
yeah.
beer,
I guess
too.
it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
My favorite drink with ginger beer is a dark and stormy.
You're dark and stormy.
You know what's interesting?
I love a
Kelly
dark and
has a
stormy.
Maybe I
ginger
do
beard.
like ginger beer.
I have a ginger
'Cause
beer.
I hate regular beer.
Oh, you like ginger beer? You like a ginger beer
Yeah,
drink?
because I do like dark and stormy.
Do you like ginger beards?
You got one right here, Kelly.
All right, I feel like I'm holding everyone up. Thank you, everyone. Also, all to the listeners who wish
No,
me
he
happies.
All praise to the listeners.
Happy birthdays to me. We're nice. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Don't feel bad if you didn't do it or forgot.
There's still time.
There's still time.
Well, you can wish me happy birthday at any time of year.
Yeah. He'll
You
take
just say happy belated birthday or happy early birthday.
but make sure it's after the 6-month mark. Otherwise, it's just classless.
But not in white
If you use
pants.
early birthday, has to be after
Uh-oh.
6 months.
You know
Yes,
what?
agreed.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Hey,
it's
Kelley.
belated.
Happy birthday.
Thank
I love you, man.
I love you too.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Did I
it.
get it in under the...
Oh, you're
perfect.
appropriate.
And it was earnest.
It was.
Because I do love you.
I know.
Is that what you meant when you said Mike can get it in?
I know. Yeah.
So,
Patreon.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Patreon. Thank you so much for your continued support.
We were just.
You
Freddie
guys
was
can
just.
get it in, too.
Yeah.
Get it in
Yeah.
Get
while
your
you
birthday
can.
wishes in.
Yeah,
Freddie,
that's what we meant.
That's a whole different tier that we haven't talked about yet.
Freddie was just mentioning the origins where Kelley originated Kelley's birthday
On the show.
on the show.
I think it was invented 3 years prior to that show.
Wow, you have a memory.
But that episode is available if you're a patron. So
Yeah.
go to patreon.com/NOTLP.
It was the very first year-end show we ever did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as formatless as it currently is, I believe. You
Hey,
know?
man, live your life.
We kind of have a better format now for the year-end where we go through all of our episodes.
Sure.
So was it? How do we do the first year end? Was it just a cacophony?
That's fun.
Hmm.
I mean, it was the
Cacophony.
first year was a lot of fun. Think about the uncharted
We have fun.
territory we were in.
Did you say Uncharted?
Uncharted. It was like perfectly white briefs
Yeah.
for 12 months.
But now they're all brown and stretchy.
Yeah.
We were pioneers, listeners.
Yeah. I think
We were settling this great country.
Yeah.
You call podcasting.
Yeah, I laid down the railroads.
Yeah. We were
To
split.
the-
We were splitting logs.
to the podcast frontier. So that means we were in our 20s when we started the show.
Yeah.
That was nice, Kelly.
Yeah.
That was
I
deliberate.
know.
Yeah. That was a throwback.
That was a throwback because, like, when I was listening to the last Origins, we were making a lot of sounds.
Well, at first we were doing it without realizing it, right? And then we realized how awful it was and started doing it more on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we stopped doing that.
Yeah.
For the most part.
So now, like, we've created a time warp like Buffy and Angel, where you have to watch and listen to the episodes consecutively. Concurrently,
we've caught up to each other.
If you really want all the in jokes, you need to be patrons so you can listen to the back stuff with the front stuff.
That's
you got like both the back and the front.
Back and the front,
back in the rear.
Go back to front.
You got to go front to back.
Front to back. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Sorry.
Do not do back to front.
Back to front if you want to get some interesting doctor's visits in.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to fuck up your flora and fauna.
Yeah.
So, patreon.com/NOTLP.
Yeah.
Join us. I still need t-shirt sizes from some of you. I've sent you messages. Dion,
call them out.
Kevin. We need Amanda.
We forgot Kevin.
Amanda's selection for this theme's main attraction still. So if you're listening, Amanda, you got time because it's the last one we'll do. Save the best for last.
What is because they don't have torsos?
Oh, that they're like embarrassed to admit they don't have torsos.
Oh, well, you can give it to a friend.
Like the head detective from In Living Color.
We can do a we could do like a telethon for the torso-less.
I could turn it into a belt, I guess.
So like
a bracelet,
a hat. We need like a different prize for them.
A beanie. Yeah. We'll make it NOTLP beanie.
Yeah. Here's something exciting for you and me.
Socks or gloves or a hat.
Yeah.
Besides torso-lessness. So say you're a shut-in because you don't have a torso and you like to play Xbox all day. I want to do another event. I finally got an Xbox that doesn't like crap out and not load. I sold some shit like a teenage boy does and went and bought a new Xbox.
Because he knows I would have killed
I always thought that was a responsible part of manhood, was trading in your shit for new stuff.
I really got kind of a kick out of selling the old shit on eBay to raise the money for the new thing.
Yeah.
I felt like when you're a kid and you get a paper route.
Yeah, it's like a small business.
Yeah.
That's how I bought my first guitar. I sold my Nintendo and my computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the last time that ever happened, though.
Oh, that made me sad.
And
But I got a guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, but you'll use your guitar more because you can't play your Nintendo on your computer.
Yes, that's right.
And I got rid of a Mac Mini and an old Xbox and both of them are really old. I mean, like, for me, what am I going to do with them?
So now you're on a pro
I'm
Xbox.
Impatient. I have a real Xbox and I have a headset, which means we can do another event where we can all hop on Discord.
Yeah.
With you patrons and play maybe some Friday the 13th or whatever.
Or Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Is it free right now for everybody?
I don't know.
Go get it. If you can get it for free, go get it for free. It's good.
Mortal Kombat! Mike and I tested the waters with Mortal Kombat XL yesterday.
Yeah.
And if you're on a PlayStation, don't feel left out because we've talked about possibly doing
still a person.
And you can we can Mario Party on Switch because that's online.
Mario Party, very fun game.
So if you're
are we going to Twitch it or Mixer it?
Well, we have Discord too. I
don't know how these things work.
I think I'm going to use Discord because it's native to Xbox. I'm not sure if there's gamers listening. Or Mike, do you do any online gaming with those?
I don't. I know Twitch is like the big one, but we seem to be doing okay with Mixer last time we were playing.
Did Mixer.
I think that's an Xbox only thing.
Yeah, we had Mixer. We have a Twitch.
We'll figure it out. Freddie and I will figure it out behind the scenes, and then we'll put it out there so you can create those accounts.
Yeah.
Make this conversation stop.
Anyways, it's going to be fun.
It'd be fun.
All right. Why are you looking at me?
Oh, because you said to make it stop.
Amy, play the music.
All right. You guys ready to move on?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
Welcome back, my loves.
Amy's here, Freddie's here, Mikey B is here, Andy's here, Kelly's here.
Yeah,
we got a full contingent.
Full house.
What do you call a group of Night of the Living podcast people?
A banter.
A grompling.
A grompling. A banter of.
A banter of podcasters. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. And Gil Faison, of course.
You've been prompt.
Sorry, that's some Kroll show for you. This actually seems to happen frequently where I get both the Russian Roulette and the first Podcaster's Choice movie all in the same go.
That's weird, huh?
We're doing the right thing.
Enjoy the go.
Scrape off those dingleberries.
The universe is aligning it for us.
Goodness. Mikey's sick and Amy's sick.
We're sitting in a petri dish right now with their cold drinks.
Sorry, y'all.
Or if you're in Britain, a petri dish.
A petri dish.
So I was forced to watch a movie called Gehenna.
Go on.
Calm down. Nobody's forcing you except we are.
I was forced. I was physically restrained.
Yes.
Isn't Gehenna like a kind of hell anyway?
All right. I don't want to get into biblical shit.
We already did that.
So,
we
but
talked about dinosaurs.
Just for you to know, Gehenna was a dump outside of, I think, Jerusalem, where they burned like dead bodies and other just waste. And then people think that means hell when they say better to follow the path of righteousness than wind up in Gehenna. Really, it just means
the dump.
Yeah, basically.
Isn't Gehenna a place near Columbus?
That's Gehenna?
Gehenna.
Oh, it's close enough.
Close enough. All of them are shitty because this movie
they also burn bodies there
was dreadful. And I wish my son Colin watched this with me on Friday. And I wish he could have been here because he loves film, and he was actually, I mean, he was making fun of it, but he was also mentioning a lot of critical problems and problems with shots and cameras, and it's just as bad in general. Like, I was like, son, you're giving this too much. You're giving this too much thought. It's not even worth that. Like, this is just a piece of shit.
Is it that bad?
What? No, okay.
The only reason I ask is because I see that like Doug Jones played a character in it.
Oh, well, a character. That's a strong word for what Doug Jones played. Yeah. Doug Jones is basically like just the makeup. Like he was like.
Okay.
He really didn't play a big part. They trotted Lance Henriksen out like they always do in these movies. They must just have to give him like a meal. Because he comes on, I feel like he's always wearing the same outfit.
Did somebody say something about a hot meal?
Oh,
in all of these,
he's not doing that bad.
Well, no, but I think he's like that. You always know that a movie's going to be shitty now when it shows up on Netflix and they trot Lance Henriksen.
He's probably old and bored.
He's so old.
And then they put Patrick Gorman in there too. Like,
who's that?
So that you can get them mixed up. Another old guy.
Oh yeah. He's
legit. He's legit. These are legit people in this movie.
Yeah, I'm not trying to. By the way, I'm not insulting Lance Henriksen. I'm just saying he's so old.
No.
How old is he?
He's
so old
that his face has fallen off and they had to put it back on.
He's not that old.
He's so old. I love him.
He is very old.
I'm not insulting him. I want everyone to understand that, listeners. I love Lance Henriksen, but because he's so old, I think that
I don't value him as much as when he was young, is all I'm saying.
It just seems like whenever he shows up in one of these like Netflix movies, or it's just a terrible movie, he's in it for 30 seconds.
Yeah, good for him, though.
No, good for him.
I bet he made a nice chunk of change for 30 seconds on screen.
I mean, probably at least $500.
I would say quite a bit more than that.
I doubt it.
I heard they had an omelet station at Craft Services.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't count the French benefits.
I've done less for 30 seconds.
But anytime I see that, he's always wearing the same outfit in all of these for his 30
maybe he
seconds.
schedules all of his apperances in the same day.
I feel like maybe he just shot a whole bunch of things and you can buy it
like a porn
stock
star?
movie.
Yeah, he's on the Netflix lot.
He is
just walking around and making little appearances.
Describe this outfit, Kelley. I'm curious.
So it's just like old man pants. Then there's like a t-shirt tucked into his old man pants, and then he has like a shirt on, like I have on today, kind of like over that,
like a button up,
like a button up, unbuttoned.
Does he do the Clint Eastwood high pant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's the thing about.
And then he's like,
does he say the words Gran Torino at any point?
Maybe, but it sounds like.
Well, old people t-shirts are paper thin. You can see their nipples through them.
This is not that. It's like a black t-shirt.
No.
This is like a black t-shirt with a pocket.
Because old people, they don't buy new clothes. They have the same t-shirts they had from the 50s. They're like
right around the nipples.
Thin.
They're worn thin. So they're actually exposed nipples.
Yeah.
No,
he's like, old people got no reason. Short people.
It's like that scene from Mean Girls where they try to play the prank on Regina George and cut out the nipple parts, and they just walked around like that.
I don't remember that part.
I don't either.
You're not a gay, so you don't know.
Sounds titillating.
You're not a gay.
But
shit, Kelley.
What?
I'm looking at IMDb pictures of Lance Henriksen.
Yeah.
He's only 78.
You might be right.
Old.
But he's
wearing the same outfit in almost half of these.
Yeah, he looks 178.
Except for his younger days.
Let's get this rolling.
All right.
Before we move on, I want to describe. You described the nipple T-shirt. This is not that. This is the Peepaw Walmart special. Okay. It's a black T-shirt with a pocket over the breast.
Okay.
Okay, what the
if you guys try to push me, I'm going to describe his whole outfit in extreme detail.
I'm not doing anything.
Don't fuck with me.
This show will last a week.
It is my goddamn birthday, and I'm 42 inches from the ground.
Anyway, I don't want you guys to watch this movie.
Okay.
It's bad. It's not fun. What's
the plot? I don't even know the plot.
All right. So these people, it's convoluted. These people go to Saipan to open up a hotel, and they're like scouting this location.
Where's Saipan?
It's like in the Mariana Islands. Like, it belongs to Japan, but it also has like, I think it was settled by the Spanish, so people speak Spanish and Japanese there. I guess
that's an interesting mix.
It is, if in a different movie, certainly.
Is it close to the capital of Thailand?
I think, isn't Taipan kind of like, they're all James Clavell novels or whatever his name was. Is that right?
I don't know.
Shogun?
So they go there.
There's these annoying stock characters, and they go out to scout this location, and they find this bunker in the ground, and there's like an old guy praying in front of it, and it's a World War II bunker, and they go in, and there's like what seem like dead people, but they don't scream when they see them, and they're alive, and they
wait. They're dead people.
They look like dead people.
But they're really alive.
But then they die immediately.
What?
When
they're exposed to air or something?
No, I don't know. It's just like the group.
Smallpox blankets.
There's a lady, and she's a terrible actress. Uh-huh. And then there's her architect friend, and he's like an okay actor. Then there's like a Jimmy Olsen kid, and he's a shitty actor. The person I liked the best was actually the asshole of the group, which is like the guy that is
That's
selling.
also my favorite part.
He's selling real estate. Well, he was just like he was the only one that was making sensible decisions because he wanted to get the fuck out of the bunker, and he was like, "We shouldn't go in the bunker." And I was like, "Yeah, you should not go in the bunker."
So they just they're on a real estate mission of sorts, right? Commercial, like this has nothing to do with like archaeology.
No,
there's no good reason for them to go poking around in this bunker full of dead folk.
No, not at all.
All right.
Maybe dead. I don't know. I will give this movie a couple of things where they like rip off other movies, and it was almost cool. Like, this movie threw everything together kind of and jumbled it up. And if they'd picked one direction to go in, not the band. Band is a strong word.
Rest in peace.
I'll go with Liam. I don't know. Is that a member of One Direction?
It's close enough.
You're trying so hard to find a name.
Benedict.
Dean.
So, judging by the title, does it have like religious connotations?
No.
But doesn't Gehenna...
Sort of. Not Christian ones. Like, there's some kind of... I don't even understand what the fucking problem is down there. But they get trapped in this bunker.
What's your fucking problem down there?
Jeez, that's exactly what my proctologist said.
They keep splitting up Scooby-Doo style. So there's like a guy that runs out. This might have been Doug Jones. And he's like got white eyes, and he looks like a zombie. And he comes walking at him. And they're like, "Sir, are you..." And I guess he's alive, but then he dies. And then there's also other dead bodies. Then there's a guy who looks young, and he's running around down there. And I think he turned out to be some kind of World War II soldier who was cursed. I don't know. People's dead relatives show up and try to eat them, but it's like a dream, and they can't find their way out.
Did you see As Above, So Below?
Not yet.
Okay.
Does it sound like that?
I liked that, though.
I did too.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
It's like this movie you're describing, but good. Although not everybody likes it. It's a 50-50.
I remember the trailer. I do definitely want to see it. What I kept saying was there's this episode of the show Monsters, the series called The Hole, where these these Vietnam guys are in this tunnel in Vietnam trying to find their way out, and there are zombies down there. And that was a very scary, tense episode. That did this way better. And I feel like maybe these people saw that or saw as, you know...
And they wanted to blow it out into a feature.
Yeah, it feels like that kind of thing, and it really just falls apart. It was hard to follow what the fuck the point of it was. Like, I never actually got what the whole thing was. It's not explained very well.
In that episode of Tales from the Dark Side, you said? Monsters. Were they leaving the Ace of Spades to scare the Vietnamese?
No. These
were... I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, no, these were American soldiers trying to get out of a tunnel, and there were all these like trip lines, but then zombies were coming out of the ground and chasing them. It's really a great episode.
I'll have to watch that.
It's on Prime, I think. Anyway, this is just a really stupid movie that is just incompetent. Everything about it is basically bad.
Okay.
So what you're saying, like what your son was saying about it?
Oh, so like he's right about a lot of this. Like the shots when they're in Saipan, they obviously are using cheap cameras because it has that like super bright. It looks like a weird brochure from like a real cheap like travel agency.
When you said they're using cheap cameras, I thought you were going to say you could hear the snap and the zzz,
yep.
Disposable camera.
They're using those fun
it's like at a wedding.
Kodak fun cameras.
This whole film was shot on disposable wedding cameras.
Just remember to give them back to us so we can develop it.
We did that on our wedding.
We're going to go pick up a bag of them from Walgreens and put the movie together.
Freddie and I did that.
Turns out it's nothing but dicks.
Nothing but dicks.
There were a lot of dicks.
So like he noticed like that it looked cheap, looked fake, and he talked about different like why are they like he just had some technical things and
you raised
also
an observant
plot things.
Boy.
I'm always surprised. He watches every movie. Like I'll mention a movie and he's like, oh yeah, that was good, and I'm like, holy shit, you saw that? And I'm not talking like obvious shit.
Yeah,
like stuff I've never seen.
Like With Nail and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into all that.
He probably has seen that.
I bet you he has. He's a smart ass kid. Not a smart ass. Yeah. He's a smart ass kid.
Yeah.
No, that's still wrong. He's a bright boy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about kids' asses.
Yeah.
He watches a lot of movies.
So not a recommend.
So if you go to IMDb and search because you were talking about monsters, the episode was called The Hole, right? Yeah. The first result I got was something called Monster Hole.
A girl got a monster hole.
It'll wreck ya.
The Andy Hung story.
But The Hole, it's from Monster Season 3, Episode 6.
Who's the celebrity in it? He's like a sports person.
Ahmad Rashad.
It's Ahmad Rashad, yeah.
Yeah.
Sportscaster.
Oh, Felicia's husband.
He does pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. This is the only thing the guy directed.
Yeah.
All right.
What?
So yeah, it's not a recommend. Don't ever watch this movie.
Don't you dare.
Oh, but he directed 72 episodes. No, that can't be right.
Oh, I love that movie.
No, that's not right.
All right, so I got a movie gun. It's got a movie bullet in it.
That's good.
He directed one episode.
Is going to be the unlucky baby.
Directed one episode of Monsters.
That gets the bullet.
Not
Andy,
for me.
Andy. Freddie, shut up, Andy. You ready, Andy?
No.
You live, Mikey B.
We're giving Amy so much hard time.
Amy's just sick and she's cranky.
We're giving you a hard time though.
Amy.
A hard time.
Lives Freddie.
Oh.
You get to watch a little film on Amazon Prime called What the Waters Left Behind.
A lot of garbage and driftwood.
Probably.
Some doo-doo.
E. coli. In 1985, a huge volume of water broke through the embankment that protected the village Epicún in Argentina. It was completely destroyed. 30 years later, the waters receded and the ruins emerged, revealing a bleak, deserted landscape. A group of young people take a trip to the ruins to film a documentary. They end up stranded in the abandoned village and begin to realize that they are not alone.
Now, this sounds sort of cool.
Found footage.
Is it found footage?
It sounds like found footage-y.
I don't know.
Did you hear my soul leaving my body when I said that?
I heard it.
I mean, it's got some decent reviews.
Reviews.
By the way, just a postscript to me and Collins watching this movie. Afterwards, I said, now if you want to watch a good movie that I watched for this show, let's watch Jerusalem, because I was in the mood to watch it. It's so good.
So good.
It's really good, you guys. I encourage everyone to check out Jerusalem. Jerusalem. It's a really fun found footage movie. Really cool. It's fun. It's not bad at all.
What the Waters Left Behind actually doesn't look
it's
that
cool
bad.
And fun, guys.
Occasionally I'm not an asshole.
And not bad at all.
Sounds like a 10-year-old wrote this review. It was cool and fun.
It was cool and fun. Webster's Dictionary defines
pretty awesome.
Jerusalem as. All right, we'll be right back.
This week's main attraction is Kelly's pick from 1987, Harry and the Hendersons.
Or if you're British, Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry.
About Bigfoot coming to live with a suburban family. Not to be confused with Hinder and the Harrisons.
No.
Which is about an Indian exchange student.
It's drama.
Living with an American family in the Midwest.
Freddie made this joke last night. Repeated it twice to me.
Yeah.
Amy, did you hear my joke? Amy.
Then did it again on the show.
I want to make sure she didn't have any reaction to it first.
Has he workshopped it? Has anything changed since the original script?
It's the same joke.
He tweeted it.
No.
He put it on Facebook.
I thought it was pretty clever.
I didn't
There's a story about it.
Share it with anybody.
He put it on
till
Tinder.
Now.
He TikToked it. I don't know what that is.
I woke Amy up at 3 a.m. I was like, Amy, wake up. Are you awake?
He threw pebbles at my window.
Yeah.
Hinder and the Harrisons, Andy. Do you get it? Hinder. It's like an Indian name.
And for some reason, he had this big boombox.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I liked it. I appreciated it.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly,
Years.
give us the whys and how fors.
Well, there are so many whys and how fors for this. But as always, every year, there is a connection to, again, my dead parents.
Yay!
Hey, Dead Parents Club! High five.
This is my favorite
Mike,
episode
you can't
of the
high five.
Sorry, I'm out.
Do you feel left out? We can kill one of your parents if you want.
They're dead to me.
Which, by the way, it's appropriate because today would have been their 57th wedding anniversary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Just kidding, by the way, if mom's listening.
Both of your parents are alive.
Must be nice.
I'm going to bully you now.
This is one of those movies, just like Godzilla 1985, where my dad kept me out of school and then took me to see this, like just the two of us. And we had basically the theater to ourselves. It was like the middle of the afternoon. He loved this movie. I love this movie. So it's like special there. And we would watch it all the time at home. And then also, obviously, I love Bigfoot and Sasquatch, which is the same thing. And so there's that aspect of it. And this is what I really was picking up last night was just how great Amblin movie. I don't know that they made a fucking bad movie.
Oh, I love Amblin.
And everything Amblin did had a very particular feel to it.
I find them kind of slow.
Oof.
Is it because you're making a joke about Amblin?
Yeah.
You get it?
Oh, okay. Ow! Amblin.
That's funny.
Do you see what Andy did?
I saw
everybody, do you want to go throw some pebbles at somebody's window now?
Did you guys hear my joke? Did you guys hear it?
You butthole.
You
butthole.
Kelly, that was a really sweet story you just told about
really
your dad and taking you out. I really love that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was that was something he did from time to time.
Well, it was kind of like on the DL, right? Because of the Jehovah's Witness thing.
Kind of. This wasn't. This is a movie that J-Dubs could watch, but he definitely. I think sometimes with some stuff he was a little conflicted.
I mean, I don't want to derail the show a little bit, but I'm going to derail the show a little bit.
Derail it.
What couldn't you watch? What was kind of off limits for JWs for watching?
He couldn't watch Harry and the Hendersons, the TV series.
Oh, we have to talk about that.
Because there was a Christmas episode.
I mean, it really kind of depended from family to family, at least in my congregation. I do feel like there are probably other... Because I see like sometimes online or on Reddit like J-Dubs who have like these horrible stories about things. You're like, I'll tell you, just as since we're derailing, like Donald Glover on WTF was talking about growing up a Jehovah's Witness and how Jehovah's Witnesses aren't allowed to listen to music. That was not my experience at all. Everyone that I knew could listen to music and radio and they had like get-togethers for teenagers to listen to music and dance.
Are there different is it like Christianity where there's like Baptist and Methodist? Like they're different Jehovah,
like Reform and
no, but I think it depends on the sort of the congregation.
I gotcha.
I think some probably, depending on who the elders are probably stricter. Some are looser, and then it also depends on individual families. Like I'll give you an example. Like my parents. You're not really supposed to watch R-rated movies. A lot of these things are kind of left up to your quote-unquote conscience. So, like, my mom would not watch an R-rated movie. And if she accidentally watched one, she, like, immediately would turn it off. But then, like, the woman, my mom's friend who babysat me, she had all the R-rated movies and didn't give a fuck. So...
yeah.
It just kind of depends on who you are. And again, so some things where people are like, Jehovah's Witnesses can't do this. Well, I don't know. That's not always my experience.
That's very popular in religion, though. Like there are a lot of Christians that don't believe in drinking, and then there are Christians that do.
Right. Well, yeah. Again,
Catholics and born agains.
Well, and that's again. There's no rule against drinking for J-dubs. They caution you about like over drinking, and you're not allowed to smoke. Smoking is like no bueno.
Is there something specific in the doctrine about that?
Well, I think because Jesus drank,
but he didn't smoke.
But like smoking hurts I guess is much more harmful to your body. Your temple. Yeah. Exactly. That's the scripture they would use for that. So this was a movie that was cool for me to watch.
Because Harry didn't smoke.
Exactly.
We got it figured out.
It was gentle. It was no big deal. There probably are some hardcore J-dubs who would be like, can't watch a movie with that. It encourages evolution. But
also, there's a lot of cursing. More than I expected. A lot of shit, asshole, damn.
Well, they do it with a little flair.
They do it in a fun, cute, wholesome way.
Well, that was how it always was. That's a hallmark of Amblin movies.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about Amblin and talking about how great the filmography is. I looked while you were talking about everything. I looked up just to see how many I had seen. I've seen almost every Amblin movie, but now that I know there are some I haven't seen, I'm really excited to go.
What haven't you seen?
Let's go through the entire.
I haven't seen Lincoln.
It was called. Lincoln's really good.
Have you seen Munich in the Terminal?
Are those technically Amblin movies?
Yeah,
it's on the list.
Oh wow!
But there was one called Fandango.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Small Soldiers. Was that supposed to be awful though?
I like Small Soldiers.
Okay.
That was a Joe Dante movie.
I love Balto.
I like Small Soldiers. I like Tall Soldiers.
Balto's good.
You just love soldiers.
Man in uniform. But I'm real intrigued by this movie,
Open Door
Fandango.
Policy.
Yeah.
Which it looks like a Greek life version of Stand By Me, maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. Frat boys.
No, I get it.
Washing cars in their bikinis.
And they find a body.
Yeah.
Last week when you said we were going to do Harry and the Hendersons, I had a very visceral reaction.
You did, because of camp.
Because of why summer camp when I lived in Florida, and that was just a traumatic experience all around. Because I was raised by a single mom, I had to go somewhere during the summer, and I was stuck at this camp, and they just didn't let you just sit and read, which is all I wanted to do. Just leave me the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hated them. And then they made you watch the same fucking movies over and over and over and over.
So you couldn't just take a book and read during the movie?
They were. I just remember. I don't remember exactly. I just remember that's all I wanted to do, and I couldn't as much as I wanted.
What was the other movie they made you watch all the time?
Never-Ending Story.
That's it, right?
And,
which was also almost my choice.
There was something else that we watched all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Plus, I just remembered it ending more sad, and it didn't. I watched it this time, and it was a completely different experience.
I remember not wanting to watch the ending, but the one ending part is very sad, but that's not really the ending.
Yeah, there's a moment, and then it gets happy again.
Yeah.
We don't want you anymore!
Yeah. Whoa, that was loud.
And this resolved some of my childhood trauma.
You can't John Lithgow quietly.
That's a big deal.
So, I had a really good therapy session this week,
cathartic.
Too.
Yeah.
Where I marveled at how my life is starting to feel somewhat normal again.
You're welcome.
And then this happened, and I just feel like I'm taking steps.
Yeah, you are. Good for you.
Nice. I wouldn't revisit Hinder and the Harrisons, though, because
Freddy, I'm going to stab you right in the face.
The airport scene where he slaps Hinder and says, get the F out of here is still there, and that is how it ends.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Harry and the Hendersons.
So we start off with a family leaving camping. They're obviously, the father is into hunting, and they're all kind of cranky. they're driving along in their what was the Griswold's car
called? Oh, the family truckster.
The family truckster.
That car, by the way, that's identical to Murtaugh's car from Lethal Weapon.
That's a popular car.
Yeah,
we had one.
Even the damage they do to it is like the same damage that happens in the second Lethal Weapon, except for the hump on top.
Yeah, and Vacation.
Yeah,
it's probably the same fucking exact car.
Yeah.
The Vacation family truckster is metallic P. If you remember. Yeah, the color.
I thought it was the same car as the Hendersons car.
Plus, it had a weird gas tank in the back.
So anyway, they're driving along, and
their automobile.
George Henderson is just booking ass through the Washington woods, which they're very beautiful. If you ever get a chance, if you've never been to Washington State,
I was thinking that when I was watching this, I'm like, Kelley must feel like he's right back in his vacation.
I do, and I tell you what, I could absolutely retire to Washington. I love it there. It's gorgeous.
Where was that famous Sasquatch video filmed? Was
that is in California, Bluff Creek, California. Very similar terrain though. And so they're driving through the woods. All of a sudden, there's a shatter, and it walks out in front of them. Looks like a man. They hit it. At first, George thinks it's a burr. Then he goes out and examines it. Thinks it's dead. A burr.
A burr.
And
a Bill Burr.
Bill Burr Baggins.
Bill
Burr Baggins would be. I gotta make a meme out of that.
You need to.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Is Medea there?
Oh my lord!
My lord is Bill Burr.
So
Medea goes to Middle Earth.
When he's examining it, he sees it has a hand instead of a paw, and he realizes, shit, this is fucking Bigfoot. So he thinks it's dead. He puts it on top of his car. They're driving along. I have to say, a Sasquatch, according to this movie, is a hardy animal or person or whatever you want to call it, because it's been hit once. He gets it on the car. It wakes up on top of the car, gets slung off of it, rolls head over heels, should have broke its fucking neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But all it gets is a teeny tiny scratch on its hand.
He's very hardy. Now, do you think that George was planning on gutting and eating him?
No, he was going to sell it.
He was going to sell it? Is that what it was?
I think that's
it
the subtext, that he's going to eat it and try and gain its power.
Yeah, he's going to eat its heart.
I don't even know if he's going to sell it. I think he just knows that it's an important discovery, and he has some option. Like, he'd like to find out what needs to be done with it once he gets back. Selling it is certainly probably part of it. He definitely wants to make some kind of, money or something off of it.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I'm going to sell this body. I think he just realizes, holy shit, this is Bigfoot. We have to take this with us.
And he's a hunter.
He is.
And I feel like
a reluctant hunter.
Yes. I feel like a lot of this movie is where like my conscience about guns came into play, because it's very anti
I was telling Amy.
Guns.
I was
See, I didn't think so. I thought that it was kind of neutral about guns in a way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was one way or the other. I think it was a more of a commentary on people who aren't more conscientious about hunting and guns are the bad.
Well, they represented, like, they had
a dude
representation.
In a suit that wants a gun is bad.
There were responsible gun owners in the movie.
I didn't think it was
Did you? I asked you this when we were watching. I said, "Don't you think like if something like this were released now, the NRA would be all over it?
This would be banned.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
not banned, but it would be on the anti.
All the conservative, all the
we
conservative
politicize
places.
Things way too much now.
But there is a pretty heavy-handed scene, a hairy-handed scene when he goes in the closet and he opens it up, and that's where because at one point Harry's seeing the mounted deer, and he buries it.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed later that the guy, John Lithgow's character, had stuffed a whole bunch of these things into his closet.
Really,
and when Harry opens it up, the John Lithgow character says, "I'm sorry, I didn't know any better, and I know how to make this right." And they go out in the backyard and they bury all of it.
Well, even as much as I absolutely can see that being taken in kind of a anti-gun, but I picked it up as more of like a kind of respect for nature, and
I saw it as a retelling of Bluebeard and his wives.
But I do love that, like the way they portray Sasquatch, and that is such a sweet kind of sad moment when Harry realizes the deer isn't alive. Like there's a scene where Harry goes up to one of the mounted deer heads and starts petting it, and realizes there's something wrong, and he reaches around to the other side of the wall.
Reach around.
Gives the deer a reach around, but there's nothing there.
Give it a sweet reach around like he does in nature.
Where's your dick?
And he realizes it's not there, so he buries it.
Yeah.
And which also is kind of a for like crypto people, because that's an idea about like maybe Sasquatch burying their dead.
Well, there was that scene from that found footage movie with the Sasquatches.
Oh, exists?
Yeah, and like at the end they had like with the dead Sasquatch, they had like like a little tribute to it. They had like flowers around it.
Also great fucking movie.
Yeah, it is.
But so I also thought there was kind of this idea about like, so George Henderson was sort of, it felt like he was pushed into hunting by his father because he wanted to be an artist. So, but it was kind of like as he grew up, it just became a part of who he was. But he's not like a violent man. You know what I mean? He hunted, but I think maybe it wasn't really in his heart.
And then he realizes like displaying it and being disrespectful in that way isn't good.
Yeah.
Well, it just kind of made me think about how many, around this time period, how many movies we watched as kids that might have formulated why I'm like so not.
Why I'm anti-gun.
Yeah, like the Bambi Deer Hunter and all of, this in this film where you just feel like, okay, you need to be smart about what you're shooting or killing.
Well, and it is interesting.
I think you're looking at it through our eyes now.
Yeah,
well, I can only
for sure.
Yeah, like I don't think it was an anti-gun message at all.
I'm not saying it was anti-gun. I'm just saying like it was, there was a message there, and it definitely gave me a little extra sensitivity about it.
Like, just respecting, other life forms.
Before we move on from the political part of this, though, I do think it's interesting what you said about us politicizing everything now, because where we were, I guess, as a country, like there was no big deal about portraying gun nuts as nuts. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas I think, and no one was like, well, that's not how people are. People with guns aren't like that. Now I feel like that's what you'd get a whole lot of. Like, I feel like everyone reviewing this, not everyone, but like there'd be a large contingency complaining about that.
Sure.
I don't think anyone thought about it at the time.
I think the concentration of ideas on the internet has created that where...
Agreed.
Yeah, you have to look for all the dog whistles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like a good example too, Silver Bullet has a similar sequence in it.
Well, now everyone's a movie critic. Back then, there were movie critics and then people who watched movies. And now everyone has something to say about movies all the time.
Look at us.
And then there were Gremlins that watched movies.
We have lots to say about movies.
Gremlins watched movies, and they had guns.
Yeah, some of them had guns.
I've been watching Ozark on TV, and so I was curious because I'm not really connected to that social media around that, but it also has a not similar message, but about wacky gun people, and I'm like, I'm surprised this is flying right now.
Yeah.
With that, but
Does Ozark have a Bigfoot in it?
There is.
Should.
Ooh.
Are there Squatch sightings in the Ozarks?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's Squatch sightings across the entire country.
Coleraine?
Not Coleraine, but Ohio. Lots in Ohio.
Yeah.
Really?
It's one of the...
Central Ohio.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest...
Where?
Well, like you said...
Near where we camp.
Portsmouth, Hocking Hills, Newcomerstown, Stark and Dark County...
Squatchville.
Bigfoot City.
Yeah. Tall Man Island with big feet.
So anyway, so now the family is brought home. He wakes up in their house.
I wonder what their mascot is at the high school.
It's a Lancer.
It's a bumblebee.
The seal.
The Fighting Irish. I don't know why.
The Sasquatch wakes up, gets in their house. He's breaking everything. They kind of are scared at first, but then they realize, this isn't just some animal, and he's not trying to harm them. And
he has a charming smile.
He does, and there is again
best face work.
There's this really lovely moment where George Henderson's got him in the sight of his rifle, and he looks him in the face. Like, this is what I love about this character. He is a human being. He's not like all one way. Like, he's a person. He feels things. So he looks into its face and like just is like, I can't do that. I can't shoot this, and now I want to protect this.
Yeah.
And I really feel like the way, especially the dad's affection, because I feel like also it seems like usually in a movie like this, it's like the kids or the mom who like wants to be like, oh, I'm going to protect this, and the dad's like, oh, I don't give a fuck about that. But like, I love it in this. Like, George Henderson is the one who really like, I mean, they all do, but he like develops this really tight protective affection for the Sasquatch and really wants to help it get back home and keep it safe. Even some of the ideas where he wanted to keep it was almost like, I want to keep it safe. When he goes out to this old and there's these proto like Squatchers in this movie. Jacques Lafleur, who is I want to shoot a Bigfoot.
David Suchet, who I love. He's Poirot. Yeah. Did you watch Poirot much?
No, I would like to eventually get back around.
It's so great.
No, I know.
He is really, really good as that character.
Yeah,
it's basically a nice version of the character he plays in this movie.
And then Donna Michi,
Donna Michi,
as the sort of I've lost my faith Squatcher.
Mm-hmm. One of the best voices in acting.
Oh yes, definitely.
I liked his little Bigfoot footprint bolo tie situation.
Oh yeah.
Do you think he was based on Gremlin?
No.
No, the bolo is he the one that wore the bolos?
I have no idea. I mean, he's a cowboy.
Yeah.
I mean, that might have been like
at least an affectation of that.
Is that the guy you met at Horror Hound?
Yeah.
But
can you believe that happened to you? That's so cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
What?
Nothing. But Donna,
you're not a big fan of Bob Gimlin?
No, I'm not any. I have no feelings about Bob Gimlin.
I think that's just a cool thing. Like Bob fucking Gimlin.
No, agreed.
So much said without saying anything, Kelley. So much said.
Thank you. So he goes out there to talk to this guy who owns this Bigfoot museum and who had written papers before, and he's kind of lost his faith. And he asked him, like, what if I opened my home to one of these? And it was just this nice conversation about how you could tell he really wants to do what's right for this animal or this creature. So anyway, it ends up Harry gets out and runs around Seattle. A bunch of people start thinking they need to buy guns and shoot him, and eventually, the Jacques Lafleur's tracking him down, and they finally, get
Jacques Lafleur is like the Terminator in this movie.
I know.
He goes
especially when he shows up at her house in interview.
There's so many moments he has that are moments that the Terminator had, where he goes in the gun shop, buys the big rounds, and like, I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was just a coincidence.
He had that Sarah Connor moment too, right?
Yeah.
Sarah Connor.
Well, yeah, when he shows up at the house,
and he thinks it's her.
He's like, "What did you hit in the woods?"
I remember the moment when he's licking the fur in the woods, and I remember like being a kid and going, "What is he doing? Like, why is he doing that?"
It's the first time you've seen someone lick fur.
That's the first time I saw someone lick fur, and it stuck with me all these years.
Now
I remembered. Yeah. I do understand. I do.
But eventually we get to the point where they're going to they take Harry back out to the woods and they're going to release him, and he kind of stands there and he doesn't seem to want to go. He also loves the Hendersons, and I've left out their crazy neighbor Lanny Kazan.
Yeah,
you ever seen her naked?
No.
Are there nudes out there?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And everybody picks up their phone.
Wasn't she like
we're trash, Amy? We're trash.
Was she like one of the Gumas in Goodfellas or something?
I don't remember.
She's got a Guma look.
I feel like she was at least in one of the major mafia movies.
Like Mickey Rourke in her IMDb picture, though.
In the IMDb picture, that's what I'm talking about.
Looks like somebody face swapped her in that.
Oh wow,
that's right.
Yeah,
those are good boobies.
Do they have Gumas?
Those are good.
No, yeah, I know.
In the Pacific Northwest, Kelley?
I don't know what that means.
A mob wife, a mob guy's girlfriend.
In the Pacific Northwest, they're probably more
Can
like.
I see them, Andy? Huh? Can I see them?
It's like the hippie mob out there.
Ah, yes.
Like the very earth conscious mob.
Sure.
That's where you get.
Like if you're not composting correctly.
Yeah, that's where you get whacked for not wearing hemp clothes and.
You know what the other thing I remembered in this film was might be the first time that I was into the mysteries of women.
Yeah.
Because the teenage daughter is the only one that can identify that Harry is a male.
Yeah.
And while we get lots of full frontal Harry and the Hendersons, I could never figure out how she could tell that Harry was.
She's the only one who was around when he had an erection.
Gotcha.
No, I think he. Obviously, this is a kid-friendly movie, so they're going to cover that up. But I mean, I'm sure it's swinging around.
I think the hint is that if you look for it,
it's there.
It's there.
But
she is a teenage girl.
She Adam Sandler's mom and Don't Mess with the Zohan.
No.
Oh.
Who?
I don't know. Laney Kazan is it's him hugging her, and she's got no pants on.
Kazam.
Wow. She does seem like take her clothes off, which is whatever.
Good for her.
For an older lady, do it. I like it. Anyway,
Well, it's funny you bring up the dick jokes because I thought there was gonna be a lot more with like him pooping everywhere or
yeah,
I thought there was gonna be a little more lowbrow humor where he
gross out stuff
where he accidentally finds a beer and drinks it and gets drunk or something like that because I feel that's a very 80s thing
because E.T. did it.
Yeah. I see why you might think that.
I loved his relationship with the little dog that looks like Phileas.
Yeah, that was
Little Bob.
Yeah.
Little Bob.
What's his name? Bob.
Little Bob.
Yeah, he was adorable.
That was a good dog.
Oh, the son was really cute.
Yeah,
too.
where he's trying to set him free. Run free, little Bob.
Aww. And he was so happy when he came back.
Mm-hmm. Also, I didn't realize, I didn't put this together. I knew this was Melinda Dillon playing the mom.
Yeah,
but
Christmas
like
Story.
At the beginning, as they're bringing, like, there's that shot where John Lithgow's carrying his son, and he's got his little rifle, and he's got his glasses, and then it's Melinda Dillon. I was like, oh shit, it's like Ralphie with his BB gun.
You'll shoot your eye out.
And there's even a scene where he talks about having a BB gun, like George, when he was a kid, and he's talking to Melinda Dillon. I'm like, how many of these do you think they were like, let's see if we could just, let's throw some shit about BB guns in here with Ralphie's mom.
We're going to be seeing Melinda Dillon again this month. Ooh.
Yeah.
She was what now?
I was just going to say, she was like one of the best.
She's a great mom.
Yeah, we're going to say one of the best, like, movie moms.
She's a movie mom. She's such a good mom.
I wish she was in more things. Like,
well, I mean, she's done a lot.
I know, but you know
so
what
was
I mean.
John Lithgow. Like, who did not want John Lithgow to be their dad when this movie? I mean,
he's such a cool dude.
He's like sensitive and strong.
Yeah, agree. It was it was actually a really good portrayal, I think, of male energy.
Yeah,
you know,
and being warm.
Male energy.
Yeah, warm and still a leader. Yeah,
and you know, they show him fighting against his more toxic masculinity traits.
Yeah.
That's good. You see a man grappling with those things and owning his emotions.
I think it's cool too that it shows that you can be more than one thing. You can like hunting and drawing.
Yeah,
you can like that kind of stuff and still be sensitive and loving.
Yeah,
because I think so many things portray as you're either like an oaf or I'm a pussy.
Melinda Dillon is a year older
that.
than Lance Henriksen.
She's dead, I think.
No, she's alive. She's just retired.
Oh, okay. I think everyone's dead. Do you ever notice that?
Well,
I'm always
I'm dead?
Kelly, I'm right here.
I'm alive.
Stands to reason.
I'm always like, they're dead. And you're like, nope, they're alive.
She hasn't acted since 2007.
I did have a minute when you said Betty White earlier. I'm like, is she dead?
Nope. I'm so happy that Melinda Dillon's not dead. I really genuinely thought she was. And
she was in Magnolia.
It makes me feel good. Thank you. That's a good birthday present. Belated birthday present.
That she's alive.
Melinda Dillon is alive.
She was in Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything.
Just because I had just watched Christmas Story, I didn't realize it was the same mom. Until this watch.
She looks a little different because she's got the long curly hair and and she's younger, obviously.
Right. Who was E.T.'s mom? That was what's her name?
Wallace.
Dee Wallace.
Yeah.
Some similar traits there.
Yeah, same style of mom.
A little bit warmer mom with this mom.
Yeah, this mom was warmer. You think so?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dee Wallace is kind of like an edgy mom. This is more of a warm mom.
Dee Wallace feels like a single mom.
I love Dee Wallace too.
Mom.
I for sure do.
I do too. Dee Wallace feels like the kind of mom that's going to drink beers on the couch with her kids. Not letting her kids drink, but like she's drinking beers.
She smoked pot in E.T.? Or no, that's...
I think you're thinking of Jo Beth Williams in Poltergeist.
I am. Thank you, Kelly.
Also, great mom. That's the
great mom.
That's a movie MILF. That's double M's.
Oh, when she
we should do great moms
when she's in those little panties.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To celebrate all of our dead parents. But you know what? I want to get to the sad part.
Yes, let's ratchet it up.
Before we get to the sad part, one question for Mike: do you remember Melinda Dillon as Woman with Balloon in the Muppet movie? That's all.
Oh my god.
Stew on that for a minute.
Moving right along. Footloose and fancy free.
You just stopped me.
Would probably traumatize a few children. That moment.
It's a sad moment.
Where they're trying to get him to go back to but he doesn't want to go.
There's a few movies that do this.
So George Henderson is like, we don't want you anymore!
We don't want you anymore!
He's like trying
and he smacks him across the face pretty hard.
I think he full-on punched him.
Yeah.
Kelly did like a Japanese affectation.
We don't want you anymore!
We don't want you anymore!
I mean, obviously, it's for a reason.
Yes.
And he turns his back. He turns his back on him, which is what you have to do to animals to show them that you're mad at them. And Harry, wanders off.
Yeah. But I also love the moment where he is beating the fuck out of Jacques Lafleur, kind of, to protect him. I also think that is this great moment where he's sensitive and he loves this thing so much. He's like, I'm not gonna let you hurt him. Like, I'm gonna hurt you if you try to hurt him.
Yeah.
Elsa looked at you and said,
I will hurt somebody if they try to hurt you, Elsa. You'll go baby.
Elsa's just in here
speaking of dogs, LaFleur throws little Bob.
Yeah.
And it's a really funny effect.
He threw him far, like
really
a shot put or something.
And part of me is like, okay, the only reason that LaFleur makes a change is because he believes that Harry is quote unquote human at the end.
Right. He doesn't give a fuck about animals.
He still hates animals. Like the minute he's like, oh, okay, I won't kill you.
Yeah.
But if I get my hands on that dog again.
And he's going to go slaughter the Loch Ness monster.
At the end, he's like, I guess I'll go kill Loch Ness instead.
I don't. I hope that there was some change there.
Well, I think you're supposed to think he had a change of heart. But if you look at the, just as presented.
I mean, it's a big change in a very.
But Harry had the opportunity he could have killed him. Yeah. And he didn't. So he showed him a kindness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what warmed his heart.
Well, and Harry.
To Big Feet.
Yeah. A kindness just to Big Feet.
And then you saw the other Sasquatch at the end.
Yeah.
Which was nice because they, again, they were worried he was the last of his kind. And then, they see that he has a family in the woods.
And he was willing to abandon to go hang out with the Hendersons.
Because they had chips and TV.
Yeah. He loved TV.
Yeah. He did not like blue cheese, though.
No.
He talked at the end. Is there any literature on talking Sasquatches?
No, not like that speak English. They do make if they are theorized to make vocalizations and probably communicate amongst themselves, but
do you think that Harry was returning to his family to celebrate Life Day?
We'll have to check the calendar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was Elsa into Elsa at that moment. Did you share about how you felt like the movie had ended with? Yeah. Yes. Okay.
And then he has to leave, and that was it.
Yeah. I remember there being multiple Bigfoot, but I thought that was after the family, after John Lithgow had punched him and said awful things to him, and he walked off. And I didn't remember the whole. Part after
the happy ending.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch. That's the only reason when I saw we had to watch this movie. I was like, because I hated that ending, but it's a good ending.
Well, Amy feels the same way about E.T., but E.T. has a happy ending too.
E.T. is a little more traumatic. I think it the sadness depth. Yeah. It has a deeper sadness depth if you measure it on the
the crying child scale.
Yeah, the crying child scale.
Beethoven at the top, E.T. slightly under it.
Yeah.
Oh, remember the Beethoven Christmas movie we watched?
Yeah.
Did he die?
Where Beethoven could talk and he farted a lot.
Remember Beethoven got shot.
That's Cujo.
No, Beethoven gets killed. Beethoven gets killed.
No, Beethoven's second. He had babies, right?
It's the babies, but Beethoven himself.
It's like Charlotte's Web.
No, I'm thinking Turner and Hooch. Never mind.
I don't think he died in Turner and Hooch.
Hooch dies? I don't remember that. I must have blocked that out.
Hooch gets killed trying to save Tom Hanks.
I love that movie.
And then all of the babies are there to make you not feel so awful. But Hooch does die in that.
Piss on that. I'm
sorry,
watching
spoiler
that movie.
alert. Hooch died.
What happened at the end of Cop and a Half?
You don't want to know. There's a reason why it's called and a half.
Cujo gets beat.
The little spoiler boy gets cut in two.
Cujo gets beat to death with a baseball bat.
Which is why I don't want to read it and I don't want to watch it.
Great book. Fucking amazing.
It is
book.
a great book.
And it is really sad.
It's sad because you get
We're talking about dogs and movies right now.
You get his POV.
And Elsa is totally
so
enraptured.
Confused.
He is. It's a great book, though. One of his best. Highly recommended. Mm-hmm. Which is also great because he wrote it so coked. He doesn't remember writing it at all.
Which
he
I think
is
some of my favorite Stephen King literature because it's a little bit briefer.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more to the point.
It's brisk.
He ran out of Coke.
Yeah, he ran out of Coke. He needed to finish that shit.
I didn't know he was a cokehead.
Oh, he was an everything head.
Alcoholic.
So what did he write whilst a cokehead?
Most of the stuff in the 80s, I think.
Carrie, Shining, right?
Yeah, I think everything well, I don't think he could probably afford Coke from Carrie. I would say probably from The Shining. He probably had a drinking problem at that point, but once he was like a best-selling rich author, that's probably when the Coke started. And I would say probably ran through the dark half, maybe. Which
is about when I start to fade out on Stephen King love.
I still give him a few books before, to me, it changes. Of course, I love Stephen King.
Have you finished The Outsider yet?
I like that little smile that Kelley just
saying so much.
I actually have to finish a story that a podcast friend, Stephen Thompson, wrote, and I'll plug him right now. If you go check J. Stephen Thompson on Amazon, he wrote a horror western novella called The Incident at Whisper Falls. It's good. He's good.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are good.
What's his name again?
His writer name is J. Stephen Thompson. He's Stephen Thompson on Facebook.
So, Kelley, I have to ask you, what do you think about the character design of this?
I think it's the best
Sasquatch.
I think it's the best Sasquatch design in movie history.
I feel like he looks like a lot like John Lithgow.
He's definitely got some features that are supposed to be exaggerated to make him look cute.
It's like, does John Lithgow cast first, and they're like, hey, we need a model.
He looks like Ron Perlman a lot too.
Yeah,
and someone I know.
Don't say
it after
Harry.
I'll tell you later. His name's Hender.
I just watched the original Gremlins not too long ago.
Yeah,
too, another Amblin film, and this made me realize like how much I miss just the warmth you could get from a good face, like a good character face.
It's like practical effects.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Yeah.
What do we know about that? Like, what portions are animatronic, and what the eyes have to be a real person, right?
Oh yeah. It's Rick Baker, the great Rick Baker, designed the makeup and the suit. I don't know that any of it is animatronic. I'm not sure.
Well, the mouth has to be.
I don't know.
Unless it's somehow attached to the guy's mouth.
I think it's more. I think it really is just makeup. I don't think it's animatronic at all. I think it's like different pieces.
Just
of
grease
latex.
paint.
It's all grease. It's
just Ron Perlman and some grease paint.
Yeah, it's
paper
just
mache.
black mascara and grease paint.
Now I know this is Stan Winston, right?
No, Rick Baker.
Oh, Rick Baker. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
I always get those guys mixed up.
Well, they're both creature guys.
So Rick Baker, and he says this is still his favorite.
Does he?
Yeah, as far as I know, and it's just crazy. I feel like I gotta find like a behind the scenes of them doing this.
What's another Rick Baker?
Well,
American Werewolf in London.
American Werewolf in London, most notably, they created the Oscar for special makeup effects specifically for Rick Baker. Basically, when American Werewolf in London came out,
did he do the Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy?
That I don't know, but he is a big werewolf guy.
Those eyes may not really be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's a video of the puppet head next to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's also a side by side with Ron Perlman and Harry.
Oh my gosh.
It is true. They look like they could be brothers.
Brother.
Oh, there's also great Kenny Rogers.
Real quick, Fred Kelley, what do you think about have you seen the Hellboy trailer?
I have seen the Hellboy trailer.
What do you think about the new Hellboy?
Oh, I think
the look of it.
I think the makeup is good. I don't love like how they have his hair kind of like flowing. It's not consistent with the comic.
Look at those empty eye holes.
Oh,
yeah. Maybe it was. Isn't that horrifying?
All right.
It kind of looks like the thing from the crate.
Get that away from me. That's
Stop
horrifying.
scaring him.
I'm just kidding. I'm not scared.
There it is with bits and pieces.
Yeah. It is creepy though. Back to Hellboy real quick. I'm looking very forward to it. It's Neil Marshall. I love David Harbour. The trailer is a little goofy. And they're definitely like because they keep talking about how this is much closer to the comic than the Del Toro versions. I actually don't. I always thought the Del Toro versions were pretty close. I mean, they added some things that weren't in the comics, like the romance between Hellboy and Liz Sherman. But aside from that, like I actually felt like they were pretty close to the spirit, especially the second one. So I don't know why they keep acting like that wasn't the case. And then with this one, just in the trailer, it seems like there's already some things that don't jibe with the comic, like Hellboy coming to the BPRD as an adult because he was raised in the BPRD. So it's just a trailer, so I'm not going to judge it based on that.
This is more like of a goofy, swaggery Hellboy, I think, than what we got with Del Toro.
Which is funny that what you're saying that because they keep describing it as grittier and less goofy, but it feels goofier, doesn't it?
To me, it does.
Yeah, me too.
Which it can be fine. I mean, like I don't have an issue with that necessarily. It's just I thought, and like you said, Hellboy 2 is perfect.
It's perfect Hellboy.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a complaint for me, but like the only thing I can see people saying is the romance angle, and that's the only thing I would say doesn't jibe with the comics.
It's a little forced, yeah.
But Yeah, and I feel like so the people who are making this keep talking about it being a grittier, less comedic thing, but that trailer feels super quippy.
Right.
It felt like a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, and a lot of people
that could be a strategy just to get people in the theater too.
Well, it might be backfiring on them because a lot of people who are watching this are actually saying like this seems more like a lot of people are not a fan of this trailer. But I mean, again, I'm not going to judge a movie based on one trailer.
There's been a lot of hate for this project since it was announced that he was cutting ties with Del Toro.
Yeah.
Del Toro's got a very loyal fan base, and I think that's going to color how people see this.
Sure, and I love the idea of another director and another cast interpreting Hellboy. Mm-hmm. I do hope that because the few shots of like the monster scenes they show do look really great. So I still think it'll probably be a pretty great movie.
I just heard somebody say on the internet like he looks fake. What? Hellboy looks fake? What?
That's not what a real demon looks like.
Well, they were saying like they thought the makeup was bad.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that. Again, just on a
I don't either.
On a personal note, I prefer Hellboy's hair pulled back in a ponytail because I love ponytails.
I like a bob.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You like a page boy?
Yeah.
So
a blunt cut.
And Harry and the Hendersons. Yeah. I love this movie so much. So thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you for helping me heal.
Thank you. I had the novelization of this as well. I had so many novelizations.
Well, that's what I just a quick question. I remember being incredibly excited for one of the spinoffs of Harry and the Henderson being the television show and being incredibly
Yeah, no, please continue with
being incredibly disappointed with how awful that I'm not sure how many episodes that even got.
Here's the funny thing about this. I was trying to explain this to Elise last night, and I'm not even sure because I wouldn't really watch it.
It were 72 episodes.
It seems like so many less because, like, what was weird about
Are you kidding me?
Right? It was renewed for 3 seasons.
72 episodes.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy, no one watched it. And it was only here, at least for me, it was on Channel 2. On Sunday morning, which Channel 2 is like a ding-dong station that barely came in. It was
you really had to fine-tune your little dial, the little dial within the dial.
Yeah.
It was Small Wonder.
God, I love Small Wonder.
And Harry and the Hendersons both showed on Channel 2.
At this time, the theme of something weird living in your house was huge.
Yeah.
This is Alf time, right?
Alf, Harry and the Hendersons.
There was a show called
Webster.
Something to
Webster.
Webster, sure. There was a show about like a witch that was like a mom.
Okay, I have never seen the series, but like, was it the same like design and everything?
Yeah, it was pretty much.
Oh, it was like basically the same. Yeah,
but Bruce Davison was the dad
from Gerald's Game.
Yeah, Molly Cheek was the mom.
Oh, Molly Cheek, I like her a lot.
Zachary Bostrom was the son, and the daughter was Carol Ann Merrill, who was smoking hot.
I'm sorry, what?
Carol Ann Merrill?
Carol Ann Merrill. That sounds like a name from Justified.
I remember because they remember back when they used to do the Saturday morning cartoon pump ups, like you would see like the whole, like it was on prime time and they would be pumping up, and they actually put Harry and the Hendersons as part of that, even though it wasn't. I don't think it was during Saturday morning cartoons when they showed it. I don't really remember.
Maybe it was intended to be.
Oh, I'm so excited for it. And that first episode, I think that's the only one I watched, was the first episode. And just going, Gugh.
It was weird AF. But I do remember it running for a long time.
This is something I didn't know.
But I thought there were only 5 episodes, and they just stretched them out across like 3 years.
Kevin Peter Hall played Harry in the series.
In the show, yeah.
Did you know he died at 35?
I did not.
He was extremely tall.
AIDS. Yeah, he died
7 foot tall or something.
So I'm assuming the series is basically like Alf, exact same thing, where they try to keep him under wraps.
He keeps eating cats.
And there's a Mrs. Achmonic that is nosy.
I remember I can vividly remember them telling a story in the opening episode of them being in bunk beds and the little boy being bullied. He got pantsed, and I remember it just being like it was awful.
Did he sick Harry on him?
He went luck dragging on him.
I think Harry was like trying to teach him to do better.
Did Harry crush a kid's skull?
Yep.
Yeah.
Crushed a kid's skull.
And then ate him
after humiliating him.
There's an episode called Harry Goes Ape, and a football legend visits the Hendersons' house along with his wife, who is wearing a fur.
Joe Namath?
Oh.
Harry thinks that the fur is a dead person and decides to bury it.
Oh.
Well, thank you, Kelley, for your.
Thank you guys for watching it and not criticizing it.
I loved it.
There's one.
Hilary Swank was in that episode. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Was she the ape?
Oh,
no, she's a beautiful woman.
That's not nice.
The one thing I had one problem with it when he ate the corsage, and she said, "I was saving 6 months for that, bitch." How much are your corsages?
No. She turned 15 6 months ago and got the corsage on her birthday. I don't know why.
No, she said she saved 6 months.
It had been 6 months, and she was going to save it forever.
No, she also saved 6 months to get it.
Well, that's dumb.
Well, I mean, she's a kid. She's a teenager.
Who the fuck gets a corsage when they turn 15?
But how much are corsages?
Listen to this episode
15-year-old
description.
girl in 87?
Because if I can find this, we'll be watching this one in 10 months' time.
All right.
It's Halloween, and Harry finally has a chance to get out. However, the Hendersons' neighbor, who is allergic to animal hair, becomes suspicious of Harry's quote-unquote costume.
Do you think that you would be suspicious of any costume? Let's say your neighbor comes out
7 feet tall, I might be.
And they're like, check out this costume. Do you think at any point you'd be like, I think that's a real Bigfoot that is with this family next door to me?
I had lots of fear around any costumes because I always thought it was just an excuse to murder people.
When you were a kid?
Mm-hmm.
How about now?
How about now?
If I see someone in a Jason Voorhees costume, for example, Horror Hound Weekend is a perfect time. When we were in the hot tub and that guy came out in the leather face and that girl wanted to jump out of the hot tub and get a picture with her and she realized it was a real knife, I'm like, he's going to kill all of us.
Yeah. Well, can I tell you, interestingly enough, I've had that moment when I see like Ghostface walking through Horror Hound and they kind of play up the Ghostface and they kind of turn their head and look at you and then walk away and I'm like, well, that's how it would happen.
That's how it would happen.
How is Scream 5 not happening at a horror convention?
You think you could have a Jada Pinkett Smith moment where
that's what I keep thinking. I'm like, well, that's what they did.
But to frame your question, are you asking suspicious as in I think that's the real Jason or suspicious of their intentions of that costume?
In this scenario, that it would be the real Jason.
No. Yes. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So yes, to answer your question, I would not be suspicious that Harry was really a real Bigfoot.
Hold the phone. You think there's a real Jason?
No, but like in
real murder with intentions to hurt people.
The real thing that the costume is.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. The phone.
In context. In context.
That's not Kane Hodder. That's real Jason. That's Jason Voorhees.
Jason Voorhees.
He drowned as a child.
So here's one more episode description from Harry and the Hendersons, the TV series. Brett thinks a primitive mask can cure his ailing love life by casting a spell on Darcy's Swedish au pair, Uma.
Oh my God.
And it seems to work, but his date with her is spoiled by Harry, who is strangely obsessed with a mask as well.
That sounded like just a jumble of words.
That sounds like that's a Me Too episode right there.
They could afford no pair.
There's an episode just called Winning.
Winning. Oh, no. Do you think that there's going to be a huge toxic masculinity backlash when they do the female version Sherry and the Hendersons?
Oh my God!
All right, so Freddie.
So we're going to gender
one more.
Come on.
Hold on, wait. One more episode description from Harry and the Hendersons, the TV series. Darcy schemed to have her housekeeper deported.
What a bitch!
Goes awry when the woman finds herself a husband.
Is it Harry?
Brett.
Oh, Brett.
Oh, it's Darcy and Brett.
That's not even about Harry.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Right.
Wouldn't it be funny if the Harry and the Hendersons show, just in the second season, just got rid of Harry? It just became a sitcom?
Like Valerie?
Yeah.
Valery's Family.
Cassie and Jeremy.
Or there was that show in the
Alex.
There was that show in the 80s.
Elise.
Oh, okay.
All right. So like we always do at the end of
Balaka.
Episode, we say hi to our Beelzebubs. These are our Patreon members that are at that level.
You're not even at my level.
Jimmy B!
Oh, Jimmy B! Let me tell you something. Jimmy B is challenged by his church when he writes an article about Harry suggesting that he is the missing link between apes and humans, which leads to a boycott of a better life.
Jimmy B, that's topical.
Jeremy and Cassie and Gamora.
Oh, Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora need attention, and it takes its toll on the Hendersons, especially George, who Bigfoot sits while preparing a work assignment.
I don't want to be that person, but just
Deadeye.
You have to stop.
Deadeye feels uncomfortable in the Henderson home, so he decides to run away.
Amanda.
Andy's leaving. The family take Amanda back to the woods.
They do?
Yeah.
Amanda, you still need to give us your pick.
Amanda, did John Lithgow slap you in the face?
Wait, who are we on?
Dale.
Dale recruits Ken Griffey Jr. in a plan to spark Ernie's interest in baseball.
Mandy?
British explorer, the son of a famous hunter, wants to outshine Mandy.
Adam?
Can't outshine Mandy.
Oh, the Hendersons try to close down an animal research lab after finding... Who are we on?
Brooke.
A
Adam.
scruffy dog.
What are we watching next week, Mike?
Oh, the movie for next week is Magnolia.
Yeah! Nice!
Oh, my goodness. Magnolia.
Paul Thomas
Adam.
Anderson.
Hi, Adam. Brooke. Hi, Brooke.
What? Brooke, you get one too. Brooke and a Native American medicine man try to cure George's knee.
Ernest.
That was nice of him.
The only doctor who can help a dying Ernest is an elderly anthropologist whose theories about Bigfoot were stamped out.
Tree and Alex.
Tree and Alex use Harry's formidable size and strength in a plan to retrieve a pair of sneakers that
sounds
were
like
taken
them.
at school.
Sounds like
Brandon Boone.
Brandon Boone befriends a homeless intruder who reveals that he built the Hendersons' house.
Oh.
Bill.
A football legend visits Bill's house along with his wife, who's wearing a fur. We heard this one.
Balake.
When Balake hides Nancy's diamond ring, the Hendersons ask a pet psychic to read Harry's mind.
We've got Mark.
A monster film director wants permission from Mark to use...
Not a monster film director, a monster film director.
Yeah, a monster film director.
I love the idea that it's a monster film director.
He wants permission from the Hendersons to use Mark in one of his films.
And finally, our sweet baby Elise.
Oh, Elise asked wrestler Hacksaw Jim Duggan to judge a benefit match featuring the debut of reluctant wrestler Bigfoot Man.
Oh, which was Harry?
Yeah.
Probably.
Harry wrestled Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Yeah. Apparently he did.
Makes sense.
All right, thank you for going on this journey with us, even though Andy abandoned ship early.
Yeah, he bailed. You could hear the water splash when he hit it. I'm gonna. What do they call it when you keel haul someone?
Keel
hauling. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna keel haul him off the NOTLP ship.
Next week, Freddie's gonna review With the Waters Left Behind, and Mikey B's pick Magnolia.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
I haven't seen that in a while. I remember loving it.
Nice choice.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. I hope you have a lovely day.
I hope you do too. Happy birthday to all of you.
Yeah.
It's happy my birthday to you.
Happy my birthday. Bye.
Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy